Staying there and tuning in to Voice of Nigeria. Our focus for this edition will look at 2023 FIFA Women World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. And of course, we'll look at the FIBA Afro-Basket Binary Tournament in Kigali. These and other stories will come your way. With me in our studio here, I have two gentlemen close to me, regulars. On my right, I have Mazino Dixon. He is a sport analyst with Voice of Nigeria. Welcome to this edition of Talking Sport.
Thank you, Salis. It's good to be here.
And by my left, I have Solomon Chunk, a sport journalist and sport analyst with Voice of Nigeria. You're welcome to this edition of Talking Sport.
Thanks for having me.
Gentlemen, yesterday, being Thursday, we saw what Nigerian ladies did with one of the host countries on Australia. In fact, the whole country, gone, agog.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with celebration for Nigeria to go far away in Australia and beat one of the host country by 3-2. In fact, the two that they got, they were just lucky to get this goal. And I believe that Nigeria, among the African countries representing Africa and Australia, New Zealand, Nigeria is the one flag is flying very, very high. Maximo Dixon, before this match, we saw the first game which was played between Nigeria and the Olympic champions Canada, where Nigeria, managed to play a goalless draw, and goal helped Canada. They escaped, a goal there.
They escaped.
Yes. So yesterday, when the game was going on, when Australia first scored, and our Talis girl, that Asisat Oshola, was on the bench. I mean, what was your reaction? What was in your mind? What were you thinking?
Before the match kicked off, we got reports that she had caught an injury from the previous game against Canada. So the impression we all had was Coach Weldon was trying to be cautious, to preserve her. But we saw something different. I mean, as soon as she came onto the pitch, especially after the equalizer, Nigeria came out and really came out flying. And it was a magnificent victory, because we're talking about Australia, one of the strongest female teams in the world of football. Yeah. They are ahead of us in the FIFA rankings by over 39 places or thereabout. Yet Nigeria was able to beat them right in front of their own fans. Thousands of fans were cheering, and even the commentators, when Australia scored, it almost looked like, it's normal business. To
be very candid with you, understand that is nothing I love than to see a black beating whites in their backyard and the whole stadium.
For me, what really shocked me, because Solomon last week had said we are going to see a different Falcons. I was looking at him like, okay, a different Falcons against the host. And we really saw it, so now I call him Prophet Solo.
And that Asisa being on the bench was actually strategic.
Yes.
But she's apparently the best player we have. Africa women footballer for about 3 times. No, so her wealth of experience is more like a coach. She's almost like a coach.
Yeah.
So he allowed her be on the bench to watch proceedings.
Yeah.
So the moment he got where she could do the job, he threw her in.
It was fantastic, honestly. Honestly, I was so happy.
Well, the question I want to ask you, Solomon, is that game, when the game started, with what Mazino Dixon said, the pointer, the statistics, all, did not give Nigeria a chance in this group. In fact, all of us agreed that this is a group of death.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, but we saw Nigeria, we saw a disciplined Super Falcon, we saw a resilient Super Falcon, that all came out, and in fact, they gave it all, and it yielded, fruits from that game. So in going forward now, we still have a game to play with New Zealand.
No.
Ireland. So
the winless Ireland.
Yeah, so the game now going forward now, this last game we're going to play now, the group, Nigeria and Canada has the same point, 4 points each, and the same goal difference. It's only Ireland behind now. So, I mean, what are you expecting? What do you want to see? I mean, are you nosing a kind of a fear that Nigeria might lose a last game against Ireland?
No. You see, first and foremost, mathematically, Ireland is out of the equation.
Yes. But for a pride.
Yeah, I know. No doubt Ireland is good. But then, the hurdle for us, we know what is at stake, just like it happened yesterday. I told you when we played the Canadians that when we meet, when it matters, we'll do the job. What will happen?
You are so confident, Solomon.
That's why I say he's a prophet.
Like, what will happen? Look at, you know what I like about our coach?
No.
All the stories from the bookmakers, the statistics do not matter. Look at the stats yesterday. First half, they had 12 shots, we had 3, 8 corners to 1, 60-40 possession. Everything was going on for them. Like, they were just like cruising. But
yes,
our coach stuck to his game plan. He told the guys to stick to the game plan. Don't take any major risk.
And I saw dominance.
Go for the 50-50 ball. Make sure you get the 50-50 ball. And we had more stamina than them.
Yes.
We're not taking risk. But where we're to battle
they
for the
ball,
midfield, we'll battle for the ball and we'll get it.
Exactly.
Once we get it, we'll go on the
forward.
counter. Yes, so he used girls with strong legs, fresh girls with speed and legs. And that was what gave us the match. So the same thing he's going to use. We're not going to take any major risk. Yes, we'll just be playing, watching you. But where we have a duel, we'll make sure we win the duel.
Yes.
And we'll go on the counter.
Yes.
So it's the same tactics he's going to use. He's going to use what he used. And if we deploy the same tactics, trust me, Ireland will just be like a walk in the park.
I remember Desire Ogbaranozie has not even played at all. And she's on the bench. And she will also be wanting to also make herself count there.
Yeah.
Yes, so definitely. And, you know, with Aziza picking up a yellow card, I know Coach Waldron will be cautious about how he deploys so she doesn't get another one and miss, if we qualify for the second round, miss the knockout game. So definitely, like Solomon said, Nigeria has a lot in the locker. And I think we can almost certainly say the second round is within sight.
No.
The ball that she scored, in fact, it's from one of the possible angle, because before she scored that ball, I was like thinking, what was she trying to do? Was she trying to kind of, bring it back the way she did against Canada? But I like the twist and the way she just volleyed the ball into the net.
That's the experience.
Now this yellow card that she picked, Maxine Dixon, is it necessary for her to celebrate it?
Look, you can't help it when you're on the pitch sometimes, and the occasion and the time she scored, it just evoked memories of Rashidi Yekini when he scored his first goal. Even though, yes, he didn't pull his shirt then, but the elation, because we're already beginning to have issues with what's her name, Aziza, that she was not bringing her A game for the Falcons. Yeah. But you saw that poacher's finish. It reminded me of Yekini's goal against Cameroon in the third place match, Senegal 92, where he took the keeper to the side, and from that impossible angle, it was so clinical. And the celebration, whether people like, okay, why did she do it? But you go on the internet right now, it is trending. Yeah. It is going to be an iconic moment for female football in the world. There's nothing you can do about it.
In sports, sometimes you just can't control this emotion.
You can't.
Especially at that stage.
Yes.
I remember when Maradona, the late Diego Maradona, was granting an interview. He said the kind of feeling he gets when he scores at the world stage, that nothing can replace it. Like on that, nothing. So you can imagine
it's a moment that you just have to celebrate.
It's out of your control. That's the truth.
It's just
it wasn't deliberate. It's just out of control.
Reflex action.
Yes.
Well, we will touch other African countries. We made it clear in our previous editions that Zambia, in fact, this is the first time, and Morocco.
Yeah.
We're banking on South Africa, because anytime South Africa are meeting Nigerian girls, it will be like they are playing with the world champions.
That's on the African stage.
We'll come to that. Let's talk more about Nigerian girls now. Okay. Maxine Dixon.
Yeah.
So the strategy now that Waldron, the coach of the Super Falcon now, is using in this game. You all agree that you should go with the plan, or there should be a different plan when we go to the next stage of the competition. But we are comfortable with his game plan the way the one is using now.
Okay, I can tell you for certain. Now, when the draws were made, Nigeria was grouped with Canada, Ireland, and Australia.
Deadly teams.
Deadly teams, but
On paper.
well, no, they are good. No, they are good. Even Ireland is good. It's just
They are
that this is
good.
their first
There's
time.
no European
After-
female team that is not good.
They are good. They are good.
After 90 minutes,
But see-
you know our girls, the kind of food they eat in Nigeria.
I know.
And you know those girls that you see. I know some of them. They are rural girls.
But
They-
some were born in America.
Very strong
Some were
girls.
not.
Yeah, we
they've
have
never
some
been to
understand.
Nigeria.
restaurant girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alozie, for
Okay.
instance, is a medical doctor.
So these
Yeah.
girls that you see, the kind of food that we eat, the Europeans don't eat it. That's why you saw what happened.
But see,
in the
let me-
field.
But see, another
Okay.
thing that got me so fascinated is the fact that when you watch our performance, you cannot relate it with some of the off the pitch issues that
Yes.
is, bugging the team.
But especially before they
You know,
left the shore of Africa
there's
to the tournament.
manipulative issues and so many things. When you watch how the girls are playing, you just imagine that like it's an European team that does not have any trouble, you know. But that shows the resilience and the fact that these girls are playing for the glory.
And one thing about football is this: when a coach is able to rally his players to play for him or her, as the case may be, this is the kind of result we get. Remember Chelsea in 2012? They were not exactly fantastic, but they played for Roberto Di Matteo and they won the Champions League. The Liverpool team of 2005 Champions League final, one of not very spectacular, but they played for the coach and they won. So what you've seen is that the Falcons, they put aside those issues and the coach worked on their psychology, told them, look, forget everything, go
It's
and
your
play
time
your
to
game.
shine.
And also remember, before they left, they were hosted by the wife of the president. So obviously, there was a lot of motivation for the game, and they came out to really prove a point. But now, the thing is, the teams we've been playing, including Ireland, they play similar football, set pieces, long balls.
Yeah,
Now,
rare balls.
where the issue will come is when we meet teams like Brazil, teams like Colombia, teams like Netherlands, teams like even England. Now, those teams are more technical. They are fast, they are skillful, they use set
Possession
plays.
football,
Yes.
yeah.
That is where the tactics may change. The Africanness of the Super Falcons will now come to play. That energy you talked about, that stamina, that resilience, and that guile that you don't learn from the from a coach, but you learn from the streets.
Yeah.
That's where we will now come to play. And if we do well, it will prepare us to go further in the World Cup and also possibly for the Olympics.
Before we continue, let's take a listen to Nigerians' reactions after the games between Nigeria and Australia.
I want to say that their performance is top notch, out of the blues. Why did I say so? I recall I followed the event prior to their going to the tournament, what happened with the association, their unpreparedness and the attitude of the NFF. And honestly, with that, for me, I was already saying that a team that is going for a tournament like that and having all these manner of issues around them, how are they going to perform? It's demoralizing. Now, for them to first and foremost aim a draw in their first match against Canada, who are the Olympic champion, I mean, it was something else that nobody saw coming. And then not only just that, their second match to now come and win against a host nation, Australia, I think they are ranked 7th. Man, it was something nobody thought, the girls would have been able to do. Now, for them to have done that, for me, I know that definitely their next game, worst case scenario, a draw, but I'm believing that they should be able to win.
Game of soccer is unpredictable, but from what they have played so far, we are seeing victory ahead of finals comes up at the appropriate time.
So do you see the Super Falcons reaching the final round?
Yeah, definitely. There's hope for them because they are doing great. There's hope.
Welcome back. And our focus for this edition, we're looking at the 2023 FIFA Women World Cup in Australia and Ireland, where African countries too are flying there, but Nigeria is the one that makes a lot of headway there. And I've been discussing this with Maxine Dixon, who is an in-house sport analyst, and Solomon Chunk, other in-house sport analyst. My name is Salisu Muhammad. Coming back now to, we saw Zambia. I think Zambia is the country that have considered the highest number of goals. I think 11.
10.
Yeah,
10.
10, right?
5-5.
Oh, that's great. And Morocco, yeah, was it 6?
6 to
Six,
against the
yeah.
Germans.
Wow. South Africa drew. They had a draw.
Yes.
Played 2-2. So let's look at the chances of South Africa, because since they drew the second game, maybe they might win their last game. Solomon Chung, before this tournament, even we in Nigeria agreed that with what we saw during the Africa Women Nations Cup, what South Africa, their approach to the game, like they came to Nigeria when the former president's wife had an invitational tournament. They came, they beat Nigeria, blue and black. And they were like, say, new kids are on the block now in South Africa. They're going to a kind of, collect the dominance of football from Nigeria now and take it back to South Africa. But before we go, I must thank my colleagues, Mazino Dixon,
thank you so much,
journalist and analyst, for participating in this edition of Talking Sport.
Always a pleasure.
And Solomon Chung, thank you for participating. My name is Charles Muhammad. Join us next week for another fresh edition when Nigeria, the Super Falcon, in faraway Australia and Ireland will go to the next round of the competition where it becomes very interesting. And for the white people, you have to watch out Nigerian girls. Goodbye.